BJ's best football is ahead of me.
Tom talked about game against a lot of Big Ten opponents this year doing against a traditional rival in Illinois. Is it exciting to maybe open against a rival you haven't played in a while?
Yeah, it is. We haven't played him since the 17th season, I believe, and not a team that, because of the current structure, that we play very often, and so not very far away, from us to be able to play them. So expect a big crowd from them as well to come, which is awesome. Great atmosphere for game day, and expect our crowd to be huge. And so, I've really grown to enjoy these because I feel like that they have a chance to really set the tone for your season. And so it adds to the intensity and excitement of fall camp and everything we do in June and July. And so, I'm a fan of them. I know they're not easy. I know they have ramifications either direction, but I think that, it's not anything I picked. So, but it's not like I had a choice. But at the same time, I'm choosing to recognize the benefits of this because I see it for sure. And I think it's good for our conference.
Is it difficult for you to comprehend not playing in Illinois, a rival that Indiana's had traditionally on a consistent basis?
You mean like in the current scheduling?
Yeah.
I think it's, obviously our biggest rival is Purdue. No question about that. But you want to play, that's why I do think having a systematic way of playing a more equitable amount of teams in our conference makes a lot of sense. So everybody's got opinions about that and why they haven't done it in the past. But to me, I think that's what's coming eventually, and I think you'll see that hopefully. But not going to happen this year for sure. So we'll just attack them one at a time. And right now, the focus is Illinois.
Tom, opening up with a conference opponent, obviously very difficult, and you mentioned doing it 4 out of 5 years, which is extremely unusual. Last year when you played Iowa, that was their only second time since 1979 that they opened up with a conference. Have you talked to the conferences to see why this is happening to Indiana as frequently as it is? I know there was a COVID year that added into that.
But we were supposed to play Wisconsin. So in the COVID year, we were already supposed to play a conference opponent, and then they changed it to Penn State after the new scheduling happened with COVID. So we would have regardless. So I don't know if I've had a direct conversation with them. I do know that
would you like
it's happened 4 out of 6 times. So I'm not sure it's necessarily just a random draw, right? So I kind of maybe know like the logic potentially, but we gotta make the most of it, right? So, but I think maybe we need to talk about it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you got to go based on what he's done, and it doesn't mean he's going to do it there either. So that's the challenging part. That's where there is some benefit. Obviously not going to show everything. There'll be stuff we have to be able to adapt to after the opening couple series. But I think it's always challenging going against a new coordinator. Because what you do is you watch all his film to try and figure out the scheme, and then you watch all their film to figure out the personnel. Okay, and then you got to try and piece the two together and try and figure out what you think he might be doing, right? So it's challenging, right? So, and you don't even know. So the bottom line is you better be really good at, mid-series adjustments and halftime adjustments, And so we're going to be really, really structured for that and have our eyes set for that to be able to really be looking for certain things with our staff and to be able to make those adjustments in an efficient way on the sideline or in the first quarter. So, but we'll see. That's one thing, there is a positive of them playing. You got to run your offense. I'm assuming I got to run a completely different system in week 1 than week 2. But and obviously you had a chance to see them in their spring game, so that's going to be a very vanilla version of that. I get that, but you just go through and you do your preparation, and then once the game starts, you're a coach. I tell you what, it's pretty cool. I'm glad you asked that because it was fun coaching him, but there's stress to that. There's a natural tension. If you've never done it, you wouldn't know what I'm saying, but there's a natural tension there. Then obviously has such a devastating injury that was so hard. But I tell you what, it's like that tension is gone, and we can actually enjoy each other more. I'm just being real. It's more enjoyable than it was as a player. And I will say this: he's really good. He's so much further along than it ain't even close. When I think about when I graduated, Okay, and I was my first coaching was at Temple Heights High School in Tampa, Florida, 1992. I didn't have a clue, you know. And this guy, I'm telling you, we're talking scheme together, you know, and watching film together. And obviously he's played in our defense, so he knows it inside and out. And but he's just got a really, really good football mind. And so it's fun. I'm telling you, there'll be time I'm gonna rip his tail and as the head coach would, and he'll have to take that. But no, seriously, I just think it's man, what a special time. You know, and who knows, it could be 1 year, and obviously all 4 of our GAs all got full-time jobs, which is what you want. That's the goal. Those guys, they can only be GAs for 3 years at a time, but so I want him to get a full-time job, you know, once he becomes a GA. So it may last, I may have him for a year, 2 years, can't have him more than 3 years in that role, but man, just, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. He's a hard worker, man. He works just, he understands it. And he puts the time in, and obviously the care factor is off the charts, and he wants to see us be great, and he has a vested interest for sure. But I covet this time. It's just a valuable. You just don't get those years back, so I feel really blessed.
Does he want to be a head coach?
You know what? I think he will be one day. Yeah, I do. You know, so but he's got a lot of teeth to cut first.
You talked about you expanded leadership.
Yeah.
How much bigger is it than it was last year? And also, like, how can you realize you guys have true freshmen?
Yeah.
What went into that decision? Basically, what's the value?
So, yeah, great question. So we expanded up to 30. So we had it was 24. So we had 6 more guys. And I had a true freshman that I wanted. And here's why. Because I wanted to be able to make sure that we got a jump start on the guys that I believe are going to impact our program. And have every opportunity we possibly can to develop them. I just think that leadership, I think there's a void in that. A lot of kids don't understand, and I'm not blaming this or that. I do think there's reasons for it. I do think the communication piece is harder, face-to-face, you know, to talk to guys. You know, texting is easier, you know, phone. I just think face-to-face, learning how to confront, learn how to lead, what does that mean? So the earlier the better. So that's why we've added those guys. And also, to me, I just want to make sure I just had more people in that room that I'm impacting. Okay, because I run these meetings, and I want them to be able to take that leadership to the locker room. So to me, I just felt like that you know, everything rises and falls on leadership. So I'm like, you know what, we can't. What's wrong with adding 6 more guys? You know, even though you don't want to get too big, you know, because then you kind of lose a little bit of that personal effect that you have with those guys. But we're still able to we just make a big U-shaped table. We have dinner together, and then we have the lesson. And I sit in front, and we sit and we just talk. And they take notes, and we go over it, and then I text them my little highlights of the notes afterwards in the next couple of days, just to continue to get that, and make sure that they understand the key points we're trying to make. So that to me was big, and I feel like that you know, I've just taken the aggressive approach with leadership. We're not going to just assume we get these natural-born leaders and they're going to take the team over. You know, I just think those are hard to come by. And even a guy like Mike McFadden, I mean, he was actually very quiet. You know, he's not a real talkative guy. So I think those really helped him. And I knew Cam needed to step up. You know, even though he's an awesome leader, you know, with Mike being gone now, he needs to fill that void. And so I just wanted to make sure we get as many guys around him, get some younger guys involved, and just keep building this football team.
I wanted to call out earlier, you guys really asked for Ohio State. It's the 100-year anniversary of Ohio Stadium and whatnot. You have a coaching background and coaching experience. We had to know memories or speaking about the stadium that you point out about Ohio State.
Well, my memories haven't been real positive there. We've never beaten them since I've been here, so that memory is one for the future that we're trying to create. You know, so but I just think of that play, just loud. You know, tough place to play. Obviously, the year we played them in 20, there were no fans there. And so that was different, so it's probably not a fair assessment of it in regards to that piece. But obviously we had a chance at the end to try to win that game and did not. But yeah, you just think tradition. You walk in there and you know all the greats that have played there. And so, you know, like I said, just being raised in this part of the country and Woody Hayes and all that's been built there, all the great players that played there. I mean, it's one of the great stadiums in the whole country, you know. So it's pretty cool, and it's got to find a way to beat them there. Well, I mean, I've actually, you know, there's there's coaches there that I use, and Coach Tressel, we use principles from his leadership, and Urban Meyer, we use some of his principles and things that obviously allowed him to have success. And my dad's a Woody Hayes guy, so that's his era. I was really little, obviously, at that point. Don't remember much of it as a coach, but that's who my dad studied. That's who my dad, between Coach, in Michigan, Coach Schembeckler and Coach Hayes, those were his kind of guys in that time period. And so, but there's been so many great ones there that you respect it. I mean, it's part of our whole profession that we're a part of is learning from everybody else. I mean, we all have clinics for that reason, and we go around and we share ideas and we try to learn from the great ones. And there's a reason why people have success. And so you want to find out, can I benefit from those reasons why this person had success? And so to me, there's benefit in that. So that's always going to be something I'm going to study.
Something I wanted to touch on. You mentioned how playing in Illinois for the first time since 2017, your own career here in Dome, Indiana.